Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Monday, May 15th, 2023. It is already halfway through the month. I'm finding that really hard to believe. This month is flying by, and it's still like weird weather. I mean, today was definitely singlet weather. I ran in this shirt today, the Boston tee from Rabbit, and I was super sweaty. Yesterday, I was out in Marshalltown area. It wasn't in Marshalltown, but it was in the Marshalltown area in Iowa. And I was wearing a jacket. I was freezing cold. It was windy. It was kind of raining. I was super chilly all day, drinking coffee in the afternoon just to stay warm. And today it's like super hot. Like the weather's all over the place. I don't really understand what's going on. I wish it were just a little bit more consistent. I mean, I like today's weather. I guess I'm not going to complain. Today's weather's great. So, yeah, we're halfway through the month of May. At least it's not like super hot. It could have been really hot. I've been to a lot of graduations where it's just like unbearably hot and you're sweating the entire time. So at least it wasn't that yesterday. All right. How are you guys doing today? Everyone listening in on the audio version, on the podcast. Hopefully you're having a good run. Hopefully you're having a good weather day as I did on my run. I really enjoyed my run today because I was listening to a podcast, not this podcast, but I was listening to another podcast, the Believe in the Run podcast with Ali Feller on it. And that was just super awesome. But you know what? The whole time I'm listening to it, I was like super sad because I was like, this is a fun conversation of my friends. And I wish I were there talking as well, but I'm not. But at least I got to listen to it because it was really good. So hopefully you guys check that one out as well. That was a good one. And everyone else watching this on YouTube, not live, welcome to the #1 running podcast to listen to while you're trying to figure out what are some other good running podcasts that I can listen to? Because I'm enjoying a couple, but I wish that there were more that I could like draw from. Because, you know, a lot of podcasts out there, this one probably included, it's not, I don't always love like every single episode. And so sometimes I like bounce around. Sometimes I go in streaks. And, you know, like this is a good one to have on in the background while you're doing like a quick search in another tab. Running podcasts to listen to, you know? So I feel like you're in the right spot. You're in the right spot. All right. Let's see who we got in the chat here. Let me know if you got it. It's Monday. So if you got any PRs, let me know about it. Eliza said, hi, CoFam. Had a good running weekend considering the heat we were getting. Hope everyone had a good one as well. Awesome. And she wants to know what fun Bandit gear is in the box. I don't know what's in this box. I haven't seen... I think I've seen this box elsewhere getting opened up, but I haven't seen what's in it yet. It's from Bandit Running, friends over at Bandit. And even though I'm not technically a member, I think it's a member box. So I'm not sure what's going to be in there. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's see who else we got here. Sean Devlin's here. He says, hey, everyone. He had a fun group run this weekend with an easy 6 this morning. Not training for something is kind of nice. Hey, let me tell you, I'm in the same boat. I agree with you, Sean. I'm not currently training for anything right now. I mean, I'm kind of getting ready. I might hop into a 50K next or in 2 months. I don't know that I necessarily need to train for it, but I'm treating this time in my life as an off season, and it's just a little bit nice. Run what I feel like running. Yesterday, I did 12 miles in Marshalltown. I ran from the hotel we were staying at over to a bike path, and then I ran along the bike path for a little while too, and then I ran back. I didn't get too long. I only got turned around 2 or 3 times. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good for me, you know? But yeah, I agree. Not training is nice. Having an off season is nice. Working on some things that I should have been working on a long time ago, you know, that kind of thing. All right. Cobalt Blue says, hey, why is the word running stretched out? They just like to play with font over there. Focus. Are we having focus problems again today? Looks like focus problems. But the word running is stretched out because they just like to play with font. Expand your mind, you know, kind of thing. Steve says, yo, what's going on? Happy Monday, y'all. Finally broke 20 with a 1950 on Saturday. He's still running the PR high. That's good work. That's speedy. That's a tough day. Nice. Glad you got that. And JC says, hello. Happy, maybe, Monday? Yeah, you know, we got home yesterday. We drove back from Marshalltown to Crystal Lake. It took us a little bit under 5 hours to do the trip. Oh, that was a long drive with the kids. I mean, we've done longer drives before, but like we didn't leave Marshalltown till 7 p.m. after the graduation party for my nephew was over. And so like, oh, it was a long day. It was a long day. The kids were troopers. They were a little bit grouchy in the car. But this morning, I got everyone out to school with not too much fuss. I think my wife is the one dragging the hardest today. She had a little bit of a hard time getting going this morning. I brought her coffee in the morning, and she's like, "I don't want it." I was like, "Okay, I'll go put this by your desk then." But she'd been really busy all weekend long helping out her sister, and her sister's youngest child graduating from high school and the graduation party and everything like that. So yeah, it was a tough Monday. And I had a gym day, a leg day today. I did not want to do leg day today. And when I got there, it was really busy. I think that like colleges in the area must be done because the gym was just full of young people that I didn't recognize. Not that I'm a regular that I would recognize everybody, but like there was a lot of people I hadn't seen before, and they'd never seen me before either. But yeah, it was just like it was really full in there. I'm like, I don't want to be here. This is a good excuse to leave. But I was like, I'll do the bare minimum and then go, which I did. So at least I got it in though. All right, let's scroll down, catch up to you guys in the chat. Bishan Mom's here. She says, hi, co-fam. Happy Monday. And Leela says, I didn't get home until 3 a.m. today from delayed flights. Whew, and there will be no running today. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. The Sleeved Singer says, does your family consider you a YouTube star? No, not really. Yeah, I think, I explain it to them as I make running videos and stuff. I make home videos. When I do the travel thing, and they kind of see it that way. It was interesting. A lot of my nephews are not the most chatty, but one of them actually like asked me questions about like if I'm doing any more international travel this year, and then asked me about Japan when I went to Tokyo, and I was like, well, I do love talking about me, so this is nice. But it was nice all kidding aside, it was nice to have a conversation with them about it. So. It's on the one hand, I'm kind of like, isn't this the generation that like everyone wants to be an influencer? So I feel like there should be more questions and stuff, but maybe they just want to leave me alone about it or think that it'd be, I'd be annoyed if they asked me questions. But yeah, I think my godson, one of my youngest, I guess the youngest nephew, I don't know if he considers me a YouTube star, but I usually give him all my shoes once I'm done with him. He's the only one in the family at 11 years old. He's the only one that has the same shoe size as me. And so he gets all the shoes when I'm done with him, like on the wall and stuff. So, he likes it, but that's about it. Lynette Gwen says, hello from Oregon. Ran the half last Saturday. It was hot, but got first in the age group. Yeah. Not bad for an old gal runner. Nice work, Lynette. Amazing. And Tails Di Mileto says, hey, Co, what are your thoughts on training on a treadmill? They're doing street work on my closest training spot and been hitting the treadmill. Seems hard to do training on it. I don't love it. I did run on the treadmill over the weekend on Saturday. So my daughter had, which finally is her last track meet of the season. She's had like 4 last track meets of the season. But sectionals was on Saturday. She got to compete. She had a PR. But then from there, it was like on the way to Marshalltown. So we went there, and we got there at like 6 o'clock. I was going to go for a run, but the county was under a tornado watch. And I can never remember what's the difference between watch, warning, and advisory. So I was like, I don't know. It looks fine outside right now, but I feel like that's kind of how tornadoes work. It looks fine 1 minute, and then it's like a tornado the next. So I ran on the treadmill, but it was just an easy run. I watched 2.5 episodes of Mandalorian season 3. Man, I loved that show. But it was fine. And but as far as like workouts and sessions and stuff, I think it's a tool that serves a very useful purpose if you need it. I think preferably you could get out there. If your closest training spot is under street work, maybe there's another one that you can find. Might be a nice time to explore. Maybe you can have 2 favorite spots then, but like, if you really can't, like you hear from a lot of the athletes that train or live in like Mammoth Lakes or Flagstaff or Boulder, where they had a lot of snow, they do a lot of sessions on the treadmill and they seem to do fine enough, so it's like not a big deal. I just don't like them as much, mainly because like I don't like the game where you have to like, then like, all right, this interval's over, hurry, let's hit like slow it down a little bit and like hit the down button. I'm like, all right, interval starting, let's jam up the pace and get it going. I don't like that game. So like the only workouts that I've really done on the treadmill, if I'm doing like a double threshold day, the second workout might be, or one of the workouts might be like, 1 mile warm up, 5K at threshold, 1 mile cool down. And for that threshold, it's like low end of threshold. So then that's something that's fine to do on there, because then it's like, it's the second workout of the day. It's not too strenuous. There's not too many pace changes for that workout. Just one to get started, and then I guess to cool down at the end. And then, and that's pretty much it. So like, I don't mind doing that, but yeah, some people think it's like easier because then like, what paces you're doing exactly, but I don't know. It's not my favorite, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Daniel Burton says, "Oh, I sold my treadmill." That's funny. JC says, "We needed a Nephew Co. hand-me-down shoe review." I did get a package where I'm trying to figure out. I'll show you guys tomorrow. I think that's the package I'm going to unbox tomorrow, and we'll talk about it. But it's kind of related to that idea, and maybe I can get some advice from you guys on how I should handle it, because like, yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. If it's what I think it is. I got a box over there that I think I know what it is, and if it is what I think it is, I'm not sure how I'm going to review it, but it is something that I asked for. So I don't know. Michael Haney says, "Are you making a graduate weekend video for the family?" No, I did for the first nephew that graduated. He's like the oldest of all the grandkids. Who also lives in Marshalltown. So the oldest in that family. I made one for them back then. It might be on YouTube somewhere. I think I put it on YouTube. It was like when I was just doing family vlogs. So this would have been like 5 years ago, something like that. Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that now. I did take a lot of photos though, because like the parents want to be really involved and experience the day, even though they take a lot of pictures. And it's their last kid graduating from high school. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'll bring a couple of lenses, and I'll shoot some shots, and then I'll try to send them to real fast. Cause the kids these days, they like to share stuff really quickly. So I did all that. So that was my kind of contribution to the weekend, I think. And then I ate a lot of the beans, cause we were heavy on beans. The graduation party was catered Mexican food. And so like the ground beef, it's an Iowa party, right? So it's like ground beef went first. Then pulled chicken was second. There was a lot of pulled beef. No pulled pork, or like any like pork in there, but I didn't eat any of that stuff. But not a lot of people touched the refried beans. So like I just ate plates and plates of beans and rice, and sour cream and cheese. I made basically just bean dip. So that was my other contribution to the weekend. All right. Aaron's Basement says, "What's up, co-fam? I can't run in Atlanta anymore. It's 85 Fahrenheit the rest of May, and my 60-mile long run, I sweat out 10 pounds of water. I don't know how to survive anymore." Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be going to Atlanta in July for 4th of July weekend to run Peachtree. So, maybe run one more time. We'll do a shakeout run if you want to do that. But I'm a little bit nervous about the heat. The last time I was in Atlanta was in February of 2020. Or I guess it was leap day, like February 29th. I guess it was March 1st, 2020, if you want to think of it that way. That was a chilly day. It was cold and windy that day. And it was like wet out. Time before that, I was in Atlanta was like a little bit before my second daughter was born. I was in there in December. I was there in like shorts, and all the Atlanta people were there in like puffy coats. So it's just different, I guess. Mike C says, "Hey, would you ever do a video on your editing video? I love your how I shoot videos, but editing is somehow worse than running on a treadmill." Yeah, I mean, I've done one for the 360 camera. It was like an hour-long video. Like it's a really super long one. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I would make it. Because I mean, there's a couple of different kinds of videos. There's like a training video, which is, a lot of like screenshots, I guess. Then there's like a shoe review video, and then there's travel video. Those are the three main kinds. I don't know how I'd put it together, but I use Final Cut, so it would be very software specific, Scott Thatcher says, "Cool, glad to make it to the live stream. Did a trail Ragnar at Zion National Park this weekend. Have you ever thought of doing a Ragnar? It's fun if you have a good group. I've done 2 Ragnars. I did one Ragnar with Ragnar, and they like brought out a video. I had to apply for it, and they like brought out a video crew and everything. I think they were trying to like turn it into like, I think they were seeing if they could turn it into like, I don't know if they were gonna make it a show or a web series or what, but that's the one that I did, the Trail Ragnar in Tetons. And then I did a road Ragnar with some friends from law school before that. That was the one that's from, I think it's from Milwaukee to Chicago. But that year we ran from Chicago to Milwaukee. It used to be like you would like end at Lake Michigan. I mean, Milwaukee's on Lake Michigan, but like you would end like at the beach in Chicago. But like I think for safety reasons they had to switch it, so you ran from Chicago to Milwaukee. And we ended in the area where like Summerfest is. So I've done a couple of them. I do think that they're really fun. I prefer the trail ones because then the road one, it's a lot of just moving around and then like being uncomfortably sweaty in a car seat in a van, and so I didn't like that one as much. But I did like the trail one a lot. That was a lot of fun. My running buddy and I have been trying to do, like, Ragnar has like the double black. So like, like when you do a Ragnar, you like each person gets like 3 legs or whatever, and they're different colors, like red, yellow, green. One's like the difficulty. And there's like a double black that you can do where a team of 2 people, they each do all 3 legs. And that's like something we've been trying to put on the calendar for a long time. But like his family obligations are a little bit tougher than mine, and work stuff is a little bit harder to schedule than mine. So we've never been able to get it nailed down. We've been trying to do that for a while. Hillary Thornton said, "I ran 8 at Cochrane Shoals here in Atlanta yesterday at 8:30 a.m. Temp was okay at the start, but too hot by the end." Yeah, I mean, the sunlight feels like summertime here in the Midwest. Temperatures aren't quite summer, but like the sun has been all weird. And like I went for my run. I went to the gym at like, I think I got there 9:40. I was running by like 10:15, I think, maybe 10:30. And already it seemed like the sun was directly above me. And the only reason I care a lot about it, even though it's not that hot right now, is because it throws all these weird shadows when I got the selfie stick out. So I got to worry about the selfie stick all the time. And it makes it harder to film footage. So like I was having a talk with one of the other ladies at the bus stop this morning. And I was looking forward to school being over because we only got like 2 more weeks. And I'm like, yeah, it's easy and it's not, because it's like, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my kids all day now. But I don't have to rush everyone off to get up early to get somewhere. And so like I would love to be able to go run right around the time when the kids need to be like woken up for school. And so like that'll be nice because then the temperatures will be a little bit easier for me to run in, and the lighting will be better for filming. I didn't talk about all the filming and the running stuff. I was just like, there's a lot of stuff I want to do when it's like kids ready for the bus stop time. And she's like, yeah, I know. Bishan Mom says it's dry in the upper 50s in southern Connecticut. Beautiful running weather. That sounds really, really nice. Really nice. All right. Brian Lang says the good thing about summer is it's open water swimming season though. Yeah, I was just thinking about it. The lakes here, we're in Crystal Lake, and there is a lake called Crystal Lake. And I don't know when I don't know when like the lake season is. This hat is like sitting funny on my head today. I don't know when lake season is, but we were talking about with a lot of my brothers-in-law. They're like, hey, we can't wait to come over and check out the new house. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I won't be traveling as much this summer, so like this summer would be a great time to come visit. Would love to have everyone over. We got lakes out here. In theory, you can rent a stand-up paddleboard and we'll rent a rowboat and get out onto the lakes and hang out. And I'm like, and I don't really know what else to do once we're like in the middle of this lake, but I'm like, I don't know, bring a sandwich. I think they're like, fish, you mean? I'm like, oh yeah, you can go fishing. I'll bring a sandwich. But I was just thinking about, I'm like, the water's gonna be cold for a long time. It's not that warm yet. But I guess you don't have to be swimming in the water. At least for what my brothers-in-law like, the way they like to enjoy the outdoors. You know. Yeah, Cobalt Blue says like folks in New York City sign their kids up for summer camp in March, otherwise everything is booked. That's how it was in Chicago too. Like it'd be like first day, like CPS like releases the schedule for summer camps and stuff, and like it was like Taylor Swift tickets. Like parents would be like on the internet all morning and like cursing the whole time because they can't get their kids in and like they wouldn't work. And I never got into all that because my wife and I are super indecisive and we're impulsive or we're more like, I guess, what is it called? When you are less structured and you can improvise a little bit more. Spontaneous. We're more spontaneous because we don't like to plan things and lock things down. And so like we'll spend a lot of weekends at grandma's house. We'll spend a lot of weeks at grandma's house, so the kids can be with their cousins. We swim in a lot of the community pools out there. And so we never really signed up for a lot of camps. But I don't know. Like the camps out here in Crystal Lake, the park district out here, I think they're pretty easy to sign up for. So we might do some of those things. Nicholas Amato says, I remember many runs around Crystal Lake. They have some fun Tuesday night runs around it. They do? Where do they run? Because I mean, I don't think you can really run around the lake. Can you? I've never actually tried it. I run around Leopold Park, which is just north of there, you know. And then I've tried running through some of the neighborhoods that are kind of like in between Leopold Park and the lake. But I didn't, it's like I've been up to Lake Geneva, and Lake Geneva is a weird property issue where it's like, I mean, it's not, I guess it's an issue if you're one of the millionaires that owns lakefront property in Lake Geneva. But the way that the land was like deeded to the town, it was like anyone that owns lakefront property has to maintain a public easement. Some of the property owners like to make it nice. Some of the property owners make it intentionally not nice. But you can run around Lake Geneva. I don't know. I don't think it's the same thing with Crystal Lake. I've never actually run around it. I've actually never been in it either. But some of my neighbors in the subdivision, they say they like to go to Three Oaks, which I've gone there. But we only started going there after the season was over. So we've gone on walks through some of the trails back there, but we've never actually been in the water there. But like that's where you can rent like a rowboat and stuff. And I don't know if you can fish in there. I don't know if there's fish in that if they stock that lake. That lake is formerly a quarry, and they just put water in it. I don't know how you create a lake, but I don't know. We'll figure out some stuff to do. Steven06 says Nipple Park. No, it's called Leopold Park. Lippold. I guess I talk funny. Nicholas says, you can kind of sort of end up going through Leopold and some neighborhoods, but it works. Ends up being about 4 miles or so. Okay. Yeah, I've done it one time where like you get kicked out of the side of Leopold Park and then you hook around and then you can run through some neighborhoods and then it connects back to the park. It was kind of weird. I usually just do loops around the park. I was telling my wife about it. I'm like, my daughter in the off season, maybe we can go and do a lap. Because it's about 2.25 miles. That's about as far as I think she needs to run at her age. I feel like if she does like 6 miles a week in the off season, that'll be plenty for her. If she wants, and she seems to want to, but if she wants, that's all she needs to do really. Porky Bean says, hopped in a little late. Cole, are you doing a try? I'm not planning on it right now. I don't really want. I'm still a terrible swimmer. I'd like to swim some more. I keep thinking about it at the YMCA where I do lifting, my gym stuff. I do take the kids to go swimming there. My wife and I take the kids to go swimming there. There's like a family swim time. But also I keep seeing these signs for like there's a master's swim team. And I think the only real requirement is that you have to be an old guy. And then you can join. But I'm like, they swim at 5:30 in the morning. I don't want to swim at 5:30 in the morning. All right. Frank wants to know what's in the box. First, though, someone asked about the hat. It's a Ben Parks hat. See, Parks? I've had this one for years, I feel like, at this point. But let's get to the box. All right. It's not a big box. I'm guessing there might be some stickers in here. But it does say the membership. So let's see what's in here. This came a while ago, but I'm just opening it now. Welcome to the membership. Oh, what's this? Oh, there's a couple of things in here. Invoice. But look at this. Nice little like paper, like not even just a regular paper clip. It had to be a fancy paper clip. So yeah, it looks. Got a member sticker. Focus. Nope. Member sticker. Keep going. Sticker, I like that. Bandit running the membership. Oh, there we go, focus. And then a card. It says, welcome to the membership. We created the membership as a way to connect and support our biggest, earliest advocates. Mathematically designed to save you money and thoughtfully curated to enhance your overall experience with Bandit. The membership exists firmly together with our mission to evolve the sport of running. Thank you for joining, and we look forward to seeing you at future events, providing you with unforgettable experiences and world-class running products. Yours truly, the Bandit fam. Some benefits in here, and it talks about it here. But let's see what's in this membership. Ooh, look at that. The member. That sounds kind of funny. And it says, keep going on the bottom. I like that. Then unzip this. Ooh, special edition socks. My favorite color. Black with the Bandit logo. With a red stripe down the back. Got 2 pairs of this one. Nice. And normally the toes of the socks say Forerunners, Byrunners, but this says member, so that's cool. It's like members only, but for running. So I like that. And it says that among the member benefits are member only Bandit socks. You cannot just buy these. You have to buy the membership. You can just buy the membership, but you can't just get the socks. $50 Bandit store gift card. I didn't see a gift card in here. I think they just sent me socks. They don't need to send me a gift card. 10% standing member discount, free shipping on every order, early access to all new product, which that could be key because they don't have huge drops right now. Member meetups in 25 global cities, access to the IG Close Friends. I did notice that I'm on the IG Close Friends, which is kind of nice. And monthly 1 of 10 member drops and the quarterly member newsletter and more. Interesting stuff. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. It's kind of like Patreon, but like a little bit different than that too. And it also reminds me a lot of like the Janji membership model that they had too. So I'm not sure how I feel about memberships for like running apparel kind of things, but this is Bandit's more than just running apparel. And just because I haven't loved the way that some other companies have done it doesn't mean that they can't knock it out of the park. So we'll see. So far, I like the socks. And the stickers are pretty cool. So Stevie76 says, members only porta potties. There you go. That would be something. I do feel like they have that kind of something like that at CIM. There's that special VIP area at CIM, which I've never had access to. I think it's like a Fleet Feet thing. It's by the gas station. Do you guys know what I'm talking about at CIM? Like, there's a special tented area with its own section of porta potties. You know. Brian Lang says the member gets you access to the Bandit OnlyFans. I don't know anything about an OnlyFans, just so you know. Yeah. Brian Lang says, what's the point of branding the soul when you never see or flex it? It's so you know it's there. You know what I mean? You know, someone at ASICS was telling me about there is a Onitsuka Tiger, or I think the brand is just called Onitsuka. So like Onitsuka is what, like the shoe part that merged with other companies, and that company became ASICS and stuff like that. But now they do like streetwear and like higher end apparel, like Onitsuka. And there's many tiers of it. So there's like Onitsuka, then there's Onitsuka like Nippon made. It's like stuff that's handmade in Japan. That's like, so there's the regular Onitsuka stuff that's like expensive. Then there's like the Nippon made, like super expensive, like Onitsuka stuff. And then there's another tier above that that's even more expensive that has no logos whatsoever. Nowhere on it. It's not even like a black on black kind of logo, just like no logos whatsoever. It's Onitsuka something. I don't even know what it's called. But it's just like, it's like ungodly expensive. And I'm like, wait, there's no logos on it at all. So how would you even know? Even if you knew about it, you wouldn't even know. How could you even tell? And the person was like, I don't even know how people tell. I'm like, does it do well? And they were like, oh yeah, it does. So I don't know. I don't know. That's when you're talking more fashion than you're talking about like athletic apparel. But like, I don't know. You know, you put it, I know it's there, and people will know the red stripe, I guess. I don't know, but it says member on the toes. Sometimes, you know, you take your shoes off, like after a race, you got your socks on, shoes off, you know? Yeah. So like right now I'm wearing my ASICS Actibreeze sandals, you know, if you were wearing this around, like recovery wise after your race, you know, you might even see the member. I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing at this point. PJ says, missed the unboxing. Was there something other than socks? There was socks. There was some stickers. But it's kind of like the member welcome package for Bandit. So they have a membership service. I think the bigger thing is that like for me, the thing I think is cool is access to like the member meetups in different cities. So like at Cherry Blossom, there was an after party, which was pretty cool. Stopped by that one for a little bit before I had to go to the airport. And they've been doing stuff at like, they did stuff with the Miami Half Marathon. I'm trying to think of where else I've seen them at a bunch of different cities too. I mean, they were in Boston as well. And they did a lot of events there. I don't know which ones were like member activities or not. I'm not always clear on that, but yeah. So like, I think that's like the cool part about it is like getting access to the community, and you do get like, and I think we've talked about the membership before, but you do get like discounts and stuff too. And Frank says, speaking of membership models, I'm not sure how I feel about the Atreyu membership model falling apart. I kind of like the shoes getting delivered at intervals. Yeah, it was an interesting idea. I'm not sure I liked it because like, I mean, for me, I don't need the shoes like regularly because I get a lot of shoes. But I was like, well, if you really like it, but I'm like, if you're super into it, like, would you want the same shoe 4 times in a year? You know what I mean? Like, that's the part where I was like, I don't know if I want that. So that's where like a shoe membership becomes hard. I feel like a sock membership might work too, but socks, I think the problem with socks is that they last too long, you know, but I don't know. I'm trying to think, are you guys members of anything? I'm trying to think of what I'm a member of. I guess I'm a member of, Bandit Running now, but like, I'm trying to think of what else, like I'm a member of that I subscribe to other than like Disney Plus and Netflix. trying to think. You guys gotta let me know. Yeah, all right. All right. We look okay. Eric is late, but he said 50K PB this past Saturday, an hour and 15 minutes faster than last September. Woohoo! Eric, that's amazing. An hour and 15 minutes faster. That's crazy. I was telling my wife how I wanted to do that 50K in Solon, Iowa in July. And she goes, ooh. And I was like, thinking she was going to be like, you're going to run 50K? But she was like, it's going to be hot. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be hot, but I'm not going to try to run fast. I'm just going to go out there and have a good time. Yeah. And PJ said, oh, I did hear from someone at the Bandit store in Brooklyn that they'll be doing something for Chicago as well. Well, that sounds interesting. Nice. And Richard Wilson says that Bandit also has, I think you're talking about Bandit still, has tents at most local races, so a place to leave stuff in, etc. That's pretty nice too. John Casas says, would you still recommend the Nova Blast 3 as your do-it-all shoe? Yeah, I do. I love that shoe. Daniel Burton says, what's your favorite sock to run in? I do like the Bandit socks, since we're talking about Bandit socks. They have two kinds. They have a really thick one and then a thinner one. I like the thinner one. The thick one, it's really hard to get on. It's very like compressive and it's hard to get on. Like I fight it to get it on. Once it's on, it's fine, but like, and it's nice because it doesn't move around, but like it's hard to get on. But I like the thinner one. And then my other favorite are Stance. There's a Stance like low cut or no show thin sock that like you could buy it in a 3-pack, and I just buy that. Andrew says, is On still doing their subscription? I don't know if it was like was it a subscription for On? I thought it was for like that recycled shoe or whatever. And I didn't think it was a maybe there's something else I'm confused on. But I thought with On it was you bought this like recycled shoe, and when you were done with it, you sent it back, and then they sent you another one. And they took the shoe that you gave them back, and they would grind it down, melt it or whatever, and turn it into more shoes. I don't know. Yeah, people do Stride. People do Strava. It's true. I stopped paying for Strava, but I think that I somehow have access as an athlete. Like I got the chevron thing, the red. It's not a check mark, but like the red thing. So I think they have given me subscription status. So I do have like the subscription tools for that. And then Stride, I no longer have a Stride subscription. I used Stride for a long time before they had subscriptions. And then for a little while, like they did like legacy membership. So I had that for a little while, and then I think that went away at some point. Andrew Scott says there's hair AC. Oh yeah. Does anyone do that? I'm trying to think. That's a cool one. That must be, I think hair AC, that must be why I can never get into any of the race events that have very limited tickets. I can never get in. But I think it's because it gets sent out to the hair AC people first, and which makes sense. And they get the tickets first, which is nice. PJ says, I subscribe to my apartment. Oh, that's funny. Michael Haney says that the Bobos membership rocks. Oh, I didn't know that they had a membership. That's interesting. And Mike C says, what about the feed? Yeah, I guess you could subscribe to, like, have them send you like a box of Science and Sport gels like every month or so. Yeah. I don't like stuff like that, because then I just end up with like a bunch of stuff that I don't like. I don't mind ordering it every once in a while. There's nothing like the moment that I'm like, oh, I've been using this a lot and I've been using it regularly. That's when I'll be like, I think I could take a break. So I don't think I do any of that stuff. Brian says that the Costco is the OG membership. I do not have. There is a Costco in Crystal Lake, but I don't have a membership to it. Ines is here. It says, hi, Kofuzi and everybody. Just back from a good run in the woods with Pip. Awesome. My sister-in-law, or I guess my brother-in-law, has always had hunting dogs. Although he doesn't really hunt that much anymore. But he's always had hunting dogs. Well, does he still hunt? I think he still hunts. I don't know. But he still has a hunting dog. And we're at their house for the graduation party. And this dog is giant. I think it's just a black lab. I think. But it's on the young side and it's huge. It's really, really big. And it's super excited because all these people are there and no one's giving it food or treats. And so he's barking every once in a while. And like this dog is at my youngest daughter's like face level because they're the same height, you know. And she's just like, this dog is so loud. And I'm like, do you think I was like, do you think you could walk a dog like that? Like if we had a dog like that, do you think you could walk it? Think about how big the poop is. She's like, I bet you the poop is like as big as me. And I'm like, it's bigger than your poop, that's for sure. But yeah, she's like, I don't think I would want a big dog ever. So I don't see a hunting dog in our future. Juliana VB says, the wine club's got me to be a member. Thank you, 2020. That's funny. I've never done a wine club membership. My wife and I aren't terribly adventurous when it comes to wines. Lately, I've just been buying, there's one Spanish red that we like, Protocolo. It's a wine that we discovered years ago, and we just ended up really enjoying. It got recommended to us at a binny, like just at a liquor warehouse or something one time, and we ended up really liking it. It was relatively cheap, and we thought it was delicious. And we ended up getting like a few cases of it for our rehearsal dinner, and we've just been drinking that ever since. So I basically, every time I go to the liquor store, I buy a bunch of those, and then for wine, I'll get like one bottle of white wine, and then like 3 or 4 others. I've been really enjoying Willamette Valley wines, Cabernets from up there. So that's pretty much. I mean, we're not that adventurous. I don't drink that much wine, so like my wife drinks a little bit more wine than I do. But that's pretty much it. So I don't think we could handle being a member. I don't know if my father-in-law is a wine club member though. He's just every time we go over there, he keeps telling us about, hey, you guys want something to drink? We got plenty in the basement. And he'll go over like, well, I got like 8 bottles of this. I got 6 bottles of that. I got 4 of these. I think we got like 12 of this other one. I'm like, why do you have so many? He's like, well, we're like, I think he's like, well, we just got them. I want to make sure we went out there for a tasting. We bought a couple cases, and he's just collecting a war chest of, I guess, a cellar of wine. I think he might be in memberships or something. I don't know. Brian says my 3 subscriptions are H Mart, Costco, and Vicky. What's H Mart has a subscription? I didn't know that. Fiona 1977 says get a puggle. We had a French puggle. We had a French bulldog mixed with a puggle. That was our dog buddy. He died a couple years ago. I don't really want to get another one. The kids every once in a while talk about it, and I'm like, nope. QTF says, how do you cope with high humidity when exercising? I usually run with like shirtless. I think this year I'm going to run in more split shorts than half tights. And I bring a lot more water. And I try to run earlier in the morning. Just try to avoid it, Oh yeah, CJ Prissy says, I consider my Audible membership a running expense. I do have an Audible membership. I do pay for that myself. But I'm going to try to get sponsored by Audible. Not sponsored, but I wanted them to sponsor something, either the channel or a video series or something. I did tag them the other day because I was like, I pre-ordered Martinez Evans' book. and I tagged Martinez and I tagged Audible, and they hearted that, that I tagged them. So like, so you slide into the DMs. I'll keep doing that again and again and be like, hey, look, I've been talking about all these books to buy on Audible. My audience really likes it. We should work together. So, I'm working on it. Frank says that Costco is worth it. Is it? Here's my theory. Here's my theory on Costco. I think that Costco makes you consume more than you normally would consume. So like something that I do shopping with, my kids love ketchup. It's the only condiment that they'll use. I keep offering them ranch dressing. They don't want ranch dressing on anything. But I even offer them barbecue sauce, and they're like, no, just ketchup. Fish sticks, they want ketchup. I'm like, what? I don't understand. But even mozzarella sticks, they want ketchup. So we go through a lot of ketchup, but I refuse to buy the biggest thing of ketchup, because when you have the biggest thing of ketchup, you just squeeze a lot of extra ketchup out. And I like to have like just the regular size of ketchup. Same thing with the ranch dressing. I don't like to buy the extra big bottle. Mustard, I try to buy the smallest one possible, because I just feel like you don't go through it that much unless you have the jumbo Costco size bottle of it. Then you just end up going through a lot of it to eat it faster, So it's just like you just end up eating more and you don't need it. That's what I think. It's one thing if you're eating more and like it's, you want it, like you're eating more, all of a sudden you're eating more radishes and beets. That's great. But like a lot of the things you're eating more of is like Hidden Valley Ranch, which I don't think we need to do more of. I don't, that's my take on Costco. It just makes you consume more because you have a bigger thing, a bigger container in your house. Frank says, I get my Costco membership back just in my cheese budget. You go through that much cheese? Calvin says, my biggest issue is that everything in Costco costs like $10 to $15 minimum. You get a little carried away and it's easily a $300 trip. Yeah, I could see that. See, I don't know. We go to Walmart. I really like the Jewel out here. I didn't like the Jewels back in the city in Chicago, but out here in the suburbs, the Jewel is nicer than the Marianas. For you guys who don't shop in Chicagoland area, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But to put it, like I'll put it into St. Louis terms. There was Schnucks, and then there was, what was the other one? What's the nicer grocery store? It wasn't Marianas. But there's Schnucks, and then there's a nicer one if you go out further into the suburbs. Jewel is like Schnucks, and Marianas is like that other nicer one. I forget the name of it now. It's hard to do the analysis. But it's reversed out in the suburbs. The Marianas out here isn't impressing me, but the Jewel is surprisingly nice. I think I'm switching. All right. Mads Wrong says, what's the best running watch? I think it depends on what they're very specific, right? I think shorter answer is Coros Pace 2. Long answer is it's not the Coros Pace 2. So I right now I've got two watches on. I've got the Apple Watch SE and I've got the Polar Pacer Pro. I'm mostly happy with it. Previous I was running with the Apple Watch SE and the Garmin 255 Music. And I think I might have been a little more happy with it, but the things I was unhappy with, the Polar Pacer Pro does really well. So it depends. If you're just running, that makes things a little bit simpler. If you are doing lots of other things, like multi-sport, or you're doing a lot of longer trail runs where mapping becomes more important, then it starts to get a little bit more complex. But like for me right now, I'm enjoying the Polar Pacer Pro and the Garmin 255. Those are my two favorites. But I still also always run with the Apple Watch SE, and that's mainly so that way I don't have to run with the phone. And also because I love Audible so much. It's not a sponsored plug, but I do love Audible. Audible, if you want to sponsor me, hit me up in the DMs. You already know who I am. We've been talking already, So, yeah. Um, Scott Thatcher's excited for the Garmin Forerunner 965. I think, was it Chase the Summit that just said, he's like, I'm not sure if it's worth it. I forget. Someone just said that. Um, Steven Dustev says, the font is too small on Apple Watch. I can't see it while running. You can't make it bigger? I'm not sure if you can't. I'm pretty sure you can make it bigger. Or you could use Work Outdoors. You can customize pretty much everything in Work Outdoors. That's a good one. Chuck is here as part of the Apple Watch SE squad. Yeah, I did have to run with it over the weekend because I put the Polar Pacer Pro on the charger for the first time in like a week, thinking I'll just drop it on the charger for like another 20 minutes before I have to leave, and then I'll be good for the weekend. And then I forgot to pull it off the charger. So then I had the Apple Watch SE and I ran with that. It annoyed me. It annoyed me a lot. I think it probably does some of the best for indoor running, but it has a lot. Like I would just use the regular default running or that activity app, whatever. It makes me really mad. Oh yeah, Matt Shaw. Deerbergs, that's right. We used to shop at. There used to be a Deerbergs in the corporate apartment complex where my wife and I lived out in Creve Coeur. That was a good grocery store. I like that one. But before that, when I was at WashU and lived in like U City, I was a Schnucks shopper, which I think is still a very funny, very, very funny name for a grocery store. Luke says that Marianas has gone downhill since the Kroger acquisition. Is that what it is? I don't know. I feel like the Marianas out here, like I feel like it used to be a flagship store. It used to be really nice. And I feel like they're coasting. I feel like they're resting on some laurels, All right, Brian says, Chase the Summit talked about the flashlight too. Same with Does and DC. I can't tell if it's a psyop or it's actually that's useful. It has like a separate light, like a LED light on the side, right, for the flashlight. I don't know. I use the flashlight on the watch, whatever watch I have. Like even if just like it makes like the face light up, I find those to be very useful. It's strange. Well, I mean, I guess it's like I don't want to wake my wife up, All right, let's do one more. Shannon says, I got it. Schnucks is my store. Deerbergs is too fancy for me. I don't know. Deerbergs was kind of nice. I liked it. I mean, I haven't been to either of them in a long time, but I felt like both were really good. I felt like, yeah, Schnucks treated me really well. I used to go to the one on Clayton down by WashU. That was my store. I don't know if it's still there. There used to be a sports bar in the same little parking lot area. We would go there all the time. They had pretty good wings. I forget the name of that sports bar, but anyway, that's old St. Louis talk. Brian said, I tried the Apple Watch Ultra for a while. I really think it's worth it if you're into any outdoor endurance activities. Yeah, I don't know. I kept thinking that I was going to test it, and then now I'm just like super uninterested in it. I just don't feel like testing it. Yeah. See, if you talk about watches long enough, Matt Legrand will show up. Says Yoko, what's going on? We were just talking about a bunch of watches. But it's it's stuff that you already knew. So you didn't miss anything today. All right. I mean, you know what? Oh, here we go. Shannon knows. You guys are on top of it. Shannon says that Schnucks, the one on Clayton, is her Schnucks. Mike Duffys is a sports bar in there. Oh yeah, man. I spent a lot of money in that place. That was a good place. We used to also go to this one bar called Kilkenny's. That's not in that same neighborhood, but that was over. I know where it is. I don't remember the neighborhood of it now. It was near was it in Brentwood? I don't know. But we used to go to Kilkenny's all the time. I I would go there like once a week, and that's where I met a bunch of different Rams players over the years in that bar. It was always really strange. Like it would just be a Ram Thursday night. It'd be like me and like 3 of my friends, and all of a sudden like a couple of huge dudes, huge either because they were really tall or huge because they were like running backs and like short and like super wide, would just roll in and be like, "Hey, Rams players." That's pretty awesome. So yeah, that's a weird memory. I haven't thought about that place in a long time. All right, that's going to be it for today. A lot of rambling today. Ooh, it was a very rambly one. Tomorrow we'll do another unboxing. No video in the morning, but we'll hang out again. You know, I'm trying to figure out some more different segments to do for the show. I feel like for the live stream, I feel like I need to step it up a little bit. I feel like I need to do a little bit more planning, not make it more like produce. I still want to keep like the whole like conversational part of it, but I feel like we need to have like more like segments, keep things moving along. Sometimes I let things drag on a little bit. I need to work on pacing. So I feel like I need some segments, you know. I gotta think of it more like a late night talk show kind of thing where there's like things move. We gotta keep it punchy. So this week I'm gonna start rolling some of that stuff out. It's not gonna change dramatically, but hopefully just the pacing feels better. So ultimately it shouldn't be that visible to you guys, but hopefully it'll be more entertaining. So today was not a good example of that execution, but I did try. All right, tomorrow's another day. All right, in the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.